What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Talk Trash podcast where we talk about sports, news, entertainment, gaming, culture, and pretty much anything else we feel like. I'm your host and worst best friend, Ramboss Terrible, and the man to my right, who is more American than assless chaps, my boy, Mike Ehle. What's up, dude? How you doing?
What's going on, man? And you know what? To be honest, man, I might have to break them out for this heat advisory that we got going on for the holidays, you know?
Hell yeah, just let
Might have to break out the red, white, and blue ones.
just let the buns hang.
Yeah, this heat advisory ain't no joke.
All right, so on this episode, we're going to be talking about the ESPN firings that have been kind of rumored for the past couple months, finally going down. We got some Black Mirror episodes to talk about. We're going to talk about the fact that about only 85% of people actually have inner monologues, meaning 15% of people don't. We're also going to talk about the July effect in the medical field, so which is actually really important because 4th of July is actually tomorrow. And we're going to talk about our favorite torture devices. How's that sound, Mike?
Man, I'm into it.
All right, right on. Cue the intro. All right, Mike, so the first thing I wanted to talk to you about was the July effect. The reason I wanted to bring this up was because, just like you just said, you hadn't heard of it. A lot of people haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
It has to do with the medical field. So basically all it really is the fact that during July, because of 4th of July primarily, a lot of people injure themselves with fireworks, blowing their hands off, like playing with guns and shit like that. Like, there's a lot of shit that goes on 4th of July that can hurt people, right? It has to do with those injuries. Also, it has to do with the fact that medical school graduates are all graduating, and this is their first month where they're actually in residency at their hospitals. So there are a bunch of
think about, but yeah, that is true. My son's girlfriend, she's starting her residency. She just started Monday.
Yep, and that's it. That's exactly what happens.
Jeez, yep. Wait a minute.
That's exactly what it's about. Yep. So a lot of new doctors basically are going to be looking after a lot of pretty substantial injuries,
Yeah, and I saw somebody posted on Facebook firework damage to their hands and stuff, bones and stuff. I'll try to figure out. I'll probably send it to you, so hopefully we can post some little pictures up on.
Yeah, no, I'll post some pictures. I was looking at pictures that were just with the articles that I was reading about this.
Bones. I don't want to see guts and shit like that.
Oh no, yeah, no. It was X-rays. They were X-rays of
that's what.
You said black and white pictures.
Some people call them X-rays. Some people call them black and white.
Yeah. If you guys are new here, you can tell we are very, very smart people.
We really know our medical field stuff.
we got this. But yeah, so it's just when you take those two things, it's a recipe for disaster. So July is kind of known as it's called the July effect for a reason.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna be safe with ours. We're gonna drink and we're gonna let the city do their fireworks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to my buddy's house, and he lives right in the backyard. His backyard is right there where the city shoots fireworks at. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's got to be real nice. We have here I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, so the neighbors, they buy literally thousands of dollars worth of fireworks displays, and they each put on their own little fireworks show. So I just sit in the backyard and watch all these people who spent so much crazy amounts of money on these fireworks shows, and it's awesome. So it's I have my own personal little shows.
I live a block away from an Air Force base.
Yeah,
they never shot fireworks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as long as I lived here.
Dude, were you on the ship way back? I think it was 2011 or 2012 or something like that, when San Diego had its all of its fireworks go off at the same time.
No.
Oh, dude, it was so crazy. Yeah,
I see videos Hawaii is huge for that shit.
For fireworks shows or having that type of accident?
Everybody goes off at the same time. You ever see the video? But I think they're more for the New Year's instead of 4th of July. They do it more on New Year, but everybody the city just sets it off at the same time, and people just sit on the rooftops,
right,
and video record. It's just fucking crazy.
Oh no, but what you're saying is that's how it's kind of designed. Their fireworks shows are all at the same time. They start at 9, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah, no, I'm talking all of their fireworks displays that were meant to go over, the length of the show. So say the show is 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
All the fireworks that were supposed to go off over the course of those 20 minutes all went off at like 10 seconds in.
The accident that they had over there, where they accidentally shot them all off at.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time. Did you see that? Like, have you seen videos of it?
I wasn't in California at that time.
I was there for that when that happened, and everybody was like,
"It
was amazing." It was, the whole show lasted like 12 seconds, but it was the best 12 seconds ever. Yeah. It was so cool. I haven't seen anything like that here. Actually, last year, and this has to do with staying safe, people, all right? So last year, my family and I, we went out to this place called Lake Ehle out here in Orlando. And it was fine. It was very packed, right? It was very crowded there. But everything was smooth. Like, nobody was, like, nothing crazy was going on. The fireworks show started. But then all of a sudden, somebody started freaking out. Like, you heard them say, like, run, and everybody started running.
No shit. That's all it takes is one person.
That was all it took, man. And it turns out that person who, like, panicked or whatever, panicked because somebody had thrown a handful of fireworks into the crowd, right? So they thought that they were gunshots. So that person thought somebody was firing. Yeah. And it fucking ruined it for everybody. So everybody was, like, literally running fucking out of this, out of the area. Panicking and stuff like that, and there was like old women, like literally people just abandoning their chairs and shit like that. I remember seeing this old woman. She was like, legitimately, people were about to trample this lady, and then there was a guy who like grabbed her and like picked her up. So I was just like, man, this is crazy. And then my cousin, who was with us, like, I don't know what he was thinking, but I kept telling him, I was like, dude, just fucking like put your head down and just run. Right? Like, come on, let's go. But he kept turning around, and I kept thinking, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I was so worried for him. Like, he was going to do something stupid, like try to be a hero, And I'm just like, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not trying to...
What's he doing? Scoping the scene, see what chairs he can take?
Yeah.
What coolers people left? Come back and get that one.
Just scoping it out real quick. But I was just worried because I was like, I don't want to have to explain to your mom what the hell just happened, like why her son just got shot, when I should have dragged his ass out of there. But yeah, like, it was just crazy. So for anybody out there, please be safe if you're going to be in a crowded place.
Yeah,
right?
I guess I don't really do crowded places like that, man. That's it. Because like you said, one person could just ruin it for everybody.
That's literally what it was. So, I mean, I don't know if tomorrow I'm even going to go to a fireworks show or if I'm just going to stay at my house and watch the neighbors do their thing.
That's just,
and
drink at the house.
Yeah, so I'll probably just end up doing that, to tell you the truth. Yeah. And it kind of sucks that's kind of like the world we live in now,
Yeah,
like,
that's true, yeah.
It's just how it is, It's a chance you got to take if you want to go out and kind of have a good time. Like, it is what it is. So, yeah, kind of wild. So, for you guys out there, like I said, please be safe with your fireworks. Don't go blowing your fucking hands off and things like that. Make sure if you are blowing up fireworks in, like, your backyards and things like that, you have, like, a garden hose or something next to you, so you can, like, spray them down if they don't go off.
And if my man Terry's watching, man, remember, charge up the fucking wheelchair, man, so you can back it up.
What are you talking about?
You never see that? I mean, back it up, Terry. Terry, back it up.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you doing?
I forgot about that.
Man, Terry, I hope you got the wheelchair charged up, man.
Well, there you go. All right. So just be safe out there, and I hope you guys all have a really fun 4th of July. Take care of each other, and like I said, don't blow each other's hands off.
Yeah, watch out for checkpoints.
That's it. Watch out for them checkpoints.
Uber everywhere.
So, Mike, when you're just sitting around, doing nothing, do you ever hear yourself in your head?
All the time. Why sometimes I lose fucking sleep.
Right. That's a huge part of it, actually, is like hearing your own thoughts when you're sleeping, when you're trying to go to bed. Right?
I used to do it all the time. Like when I wake up, even when we used to wake up and, you had to walk down that long pier to get to the ship.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the fucking time. And I used to sit there and wonder to myself, like, am I the only one that talks to myself? Am I fucking crazy?
No, you are not the only one. And no, you are not crazy. You're in the vast majority of people, which according to the articles I was reading is about 85% of people who have that internal dialogue. Right?
I didn't know that was a name. I didn't know I had a name for it. I just thought it was you talk to yourself.
Yeah, no, just internal dialogue, right? Which you basically are doing. It's all you're doing.
Yeah,
is talking
I guess
to
you're
yourself.
just not doing it out loud. So yeah, I guess it would have a better name for it.
So I have a question though for you. When you think, do you think in your own voice, or do you think in the voice of the person who you're thinking about? Yeah,
Whenever if I have a dialogue with somebody else,
right,
I change
in your mind,
the voice in my head.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I always whenever let's say you go and you got like a speech or something you got to give. You're like, man, these motherfuckers gonna ask all these questions. So you go through questions in your fucking head. And I've always put it in another voice or whatever, just to be like, well, that's how they're gonna fucking talk.
Yeah. Like what you do is also very common. Like that's a common thing. I actually have trouble doing that. What you do.
Yeah.
Is
I got
thinking,
a creative mind.
I guess. I mean, I don't know, but I feel. Not I feel. According to the articles that I was reading before about this, they were saying that what you do with the changing the voices is also what the majority of people do. So you're in the majority for that. I'm in the minority in the sense that I have trouble switching voices. So it's kind of strange. So when I think about other people talking to me, I think they're talking to me in my voice.
Yeah.
So
I give
kind of a
everybody
weird
their
thing.
own little fucking personality in there.
Yeah. No, I mean I can do the personalities and stuff like that, but it's hard for me to picture their voice in my head. It's usually my own voice.
Yeah.
So I'm in the minority in that one. It's a little weird. At least I have the inner dialogue though. You know, like I'm talking to
I think
myself.
you gotta have an inner dialogue, man.
Well, they were saying that the people who don't, because that was what was more interesting to me than the people who do, right? Like how do those people think if you're not talking to yourself? Well, they said that they think mostly in pictures and in individual words. And they kind of put the picture to the word, and it kind of forms a little, like, I don't know, collage in their mind, and that's how they think.
That's weird.
Yeah, but that's how people think. Everybody's brains are different.
Ones, not me.
They might be. I don't know if they're actually like are crazy or anything like that, but I feel like it would be very hard to think in that type of manner. You know, like it just doesn't make sense in my head.
Picture it.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
So I mean, more power to them. I guess they're getting, they're making it through through life just like everybody else. But doesn't make any goddamn sense to me at all.
I can't even visualize that, man. Yeah, please. I'm gonna have to talk to myself about that. Like, can I do that shit?
There was a couple things that I was reading about this. One of them was talking about how the person was having a conversation with somebody who didn't know that the person who they were talking to in their head was themselves. They legitimately thought they were having conversations with like God.
Yeah,
and like God was the one talking to them and like making decisions and shit like that, and didn't realize that it was literally just their own thoughts, like in their mind, figuring this stuff out. Don't get me wrong, this person was not very bright, apparently, but the fact that he was confused enough that he legitimately was thinking like these thoughts were coming from like a higher fucking power because only I can hear them, and like something's telling me these things.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was probably pretty common back in the day for people being like, the Lord is telling me these things.
Yeah, exactly. He wants me to do this.
Yeah, I feel like that's literally just yourself.
That's you thinking that. Nope, not me.
Like, no, it's not.
I tell you one thing though, like it ruins me. Like I do it when I'm driving sometimes, and man, I'll pass a damn green light, and after I'm driving, I look back like, damn, that was a green light. I wonder if it was green or red because I've been talking to myself so much.
You're distracted.
I don't pay attention when I'm driving. Like,
okay,
so I got to see how far like the car behind me. If it's still going, I'm like, okay, it must still be green. If he's that far behind me, and he just went through that bitch.
That's like your muscle memory and shit too, though. Especially with driving. Like we've been driving for so long. Like it's just it comes second nature. Like it's nothing.
Some people's muscle memory don't think every light's green though. I see people run some fucking red lights at.
Yeah, those people just ain't paying attention like worth of shit.
Their dialogue is serious.
Yeah, so that was it. 15% of people don't have an internal dialogue. If you are one of those 15% of people who do not have an internal dialogue, please let us know.
Yeah, I want to know how that is.
Like, try to explain it to us in words in the comment section. How the hell that works?
No way you can explain it, really.
Yeah, like I really, really am curious, like how the hell that works. So if we can get like a first-hand account from somebody how it works, that would be great. Yeah, so please go ahead and let us know in the comments down below.
I'm gonna go question my kids now. I bet one of my kids just sit there and be like, "No, I just picture everything."
Who knows? Maybe Cammy. She's pretty artsy, right?
Yeah, she is. Kids are pretty smart too, so
who knows?
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
All right, Mike. So I'm sure you've heard, because you're pretty up to speed on stuff like this. ESPN has just basically taken the axe to a whole bunch of big names.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I wonder if it was just a contract issue. Not a contract issue. Like but that's crazy. If all their contracts came up right now, like to renew, and they're like, nope, we're not doing it. Damn. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, what are the chances that they all do that at the same time? Yeah,
especially the names that are out here.
Yeah, I that's why I would say it's probably not a contract thing. I think it's, I mean, it's obviously a money saving thing because so far. So let's look at the list of people who they let go. They let go of, as of right now, we know for a fact Jeff Van Gundy's gone, Max Kellerman's gone, Jay Will, Keyshawn Johnson, Susie Colbert, Steve Young, Todd McShay, Jalen Rose, Matt Hasselbeck, and Vince Carter are definitely gone. Right? Yeah. Those are some big names in the sportscasting world. So
damn, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly shocked with a couple of them. I wasn't expecting Max Kellerman to be axed.
Yeah, I think Max Kellerman. I didn't think Todd McShay. Todd McShay does a lot of their like drafting reports and stuff. Yeah. Like he knows athletes coming out of college and stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. Jalen Rose. I kind of had a feeling Jalen Rose would probably be, on the chopping block because of his whole his situation, getting caught smoking and stuff back a couple months back. He was actually he had disappeared from TV for like it felt like a month or more back when he got in trouble.
I ain't seen him in a while.
Yeah, but he had come back recently, and I guess he just came back during the cuts, and now he's officially gone too.
I look at some of the names like Steve Young, Matt Hasselbeck. They can always do something when football season comes back in.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I can see them like maybe not have their own show, but like feeling like NFL Network, they have a lot of little things where they got a good. I like their Good Morning Football show, and I can see those two names, Matt Hasselbeck and Steve Young, getting plugged in there every now and then for that.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could also see someone like basically like the people who actually play the sports. So somebody also like Vince Carter. You know, like he could definitely go and do a podcast or jump on somebody else's podcast. I don't think their careers are over because ESPN is just like
somebody like Max Kellerman, which most of his career was based off of broadcasting type thing. I don't know, like his name is well known. Yeah,
and he also like he had a really big boxing career as a boxing announcer. So I mean he's well established. So I think another
he could start his own podcast and bring some of these guys with him, and it'd be less fucking stress than probably what he was going through.
Yeah, probably. But I think he's going to get picked up by another channel for sure, like ESPN. It's going to be like Fox or some shit. It's going to.
He's going to be with what's his name? A boy who just quit. Uncle.
Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
He's going to be over there with him.
Honestly, dude, I would watch Max Kellerman and Shannon Sharp. Like, I would definitely watch that show. Yeah, like, if they decided to do that, or if they did Max Kellerman, Shannon Sharp, Vince Carter, like, I would definitely be all about that show. Like, I think it'd be entertaining as hell. So
Max Kellerman and Shannon Sharp would be huge.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to what's going on with Shannon Sharp. Like, obviously he wasn't part of these cuts, but because he's on Fox. But even so, like, I'm curious what's going on with him because I really would like to see a show like that.
It's like a trade. It's a trade thing. They're trading all these guys for
for Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, in the sports world, that's a trade. We got a major trade going.
Yeah, no shit. But yeah, so if you guys didn't know that, now you know. This rumor has been going on for, it seems like months now. It's been in the works or coming down the pipeline, and I just didn't realize it was literally happening like this week. Yeah, it just kind of fell on everybody
all at once. And boom, here. Y'all take it easy.
Yeah, it seems like Stephen A. Smith, his job is safe for now.
Yeah. Well, he just re-signed a contract recently.
So he's their number one money maker though, for sure. So I think they'd be legitimately like stupid to let him go. Like a lot of people think he's just a kind of an asshole, but he is an entertaining asshole at that. So I give him a lot of credit.
I used to hate him.
Yeah. Did you?
But then I find out all the truth he was saying about the Dallas Cowboys, and man, this guy's right, man. You know what?
He does not like the Cowboys. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, guys, now you know what's going on with ESPN. So don't be surprised if you go to try to listen to your favorite show, and
for hell, if you see one of us on the show, you know, or if you see one of them on our show, don't be surprised.
Hey, ESPN, if you guys need someone,
yeah, exactly.
These guys right here, we got it.
Bullshit them. Bullshit the best of them.
If Max Kellerman or anybody we listed before is listening, we do need some sports guys. So please send us your resumes, and we will consider you.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Doesn't mean you got the job, but you know we'll keep our ear to the ground for you. All right, so let's go ahead and just talk about these Black Mirror episodes real quick. Have you seen Black Mirror before?
I have seen Black Mirror. I haven't seen all of this episode yet. Even though I know it's not that many episodes, I haven't seen all this season yet. But.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler alerts for these. If you want to hear my kind of rundown of these episodes, just go ahead and skip to the frame up above, whatever the hell it's listed as, and just skip to that so you won't have to listen to me ruin this for you.
Yeah, but I mean, Black Mirror's been out for a while. It's on Netflix. I mean, you know.
Yeah, by now, if you were going to watch it, you probably would have already watched it. But regardless, the time is up there if you want to skip it. All right, so the first one we're going to talk about real quick is called Joan is Afraid. All right?
That's episode 1, huh?
Episode 1, season 6.
That one was crazy.
It was. So, for one thing, I love Selma Hayek, right? And she's like a staple in this episode. She's one of the main
she hasn't aged yet.
Yeah, dude, she's so beautiful. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. She no dragon.
Dragon.
Old Asian lady.
Anyway, she basically the premise of the show is that there's a woman named Joan who's being watched by Netflix, right? And Netflix is basically recording her every move through either her phone or cameras or, you know, her using the internet, whatever it might be around her, and it's always watching. And the reason it's allowed to do all this to someone is because she signed the terms and conditions when she signed up for basically Netflix, which on this show is called Streamberry. They call it Streamberry, but it's literally just Netflix. So basically the whole premise is that she's being recorded, and like these shows are coming out about her like the same day that these things happen.
Yeah, like it's like a 20-minute delay or something.
Yeah, it's so fast. Yeah, exactly. It comes out so quick. So they're like, how is this being produced so fast, right? And it just turns out that they have Streamberry has this computer that's it's a quantum computer, so it can process things super quickly. So as all this data is coming in, it's literally just making these episodes called Joan is Afraid on Streamberry that people are watching about this lady Joan. And Joan on the Streamberry show is being played by Selma Hayek, right?
Yeah. That's the shit that's funny about it.
Which is really funny. So the real Joan is like, what the hell? Fucking pissed off at Selma Hayek. Ends up trying to think of a way to get Selma Hayek so angry at her that she would stop doing the show, right? Because Selma Hayek is doing everything that the real Joan is doing. So the real Joan decides to go take a shit in a church wearing a cheerleader outfit with a giant dick drawn on her forehead. So she takes this shit in the church or whatever. So Selma Hayek, her character, has to do that.
Has to do it, yep.
Yep, so she goes and takes a shit in the church, dick on her head, all that shit. And it turns out that Selma Hayek isn't the actual person doing that. It's just a deep fake of Selma Hayek.
Yeah, so AI type shit. Yeah.
AI, exactly. So it's just AI with a superimposed face. Everything in the show is basically AI made by this supercomputer.
Yeah.
But Selma Hayek gets mad because she's like, "What the fuck? Like, my family's gonna see this, and like this woman just took a shit on the church, and now it's on TV, and blah blah blah." So basically, Selma Hayek meets up with the real Joan, and they decide they're gonna destroy this computer for whatever reason, right? To stop this whole nonsense from happening. They are successful. They end up destroying the computer. Just to make a long story short, and it turns out that the real Joan wasn't the real Joan at all anyway. The real Joan was actually one layer beneath that. So the real Joan ends up coming out, and the whole episode basically speaks to how advanced AI is getting and how realistic deep fakes actually are becoming. And
that's what like Black Mirror
it's kinda
does. It
true.
tells you stories like that. That he's like, God damn, didn't even look at it like that. But
right? It kind of is. It kind of does do that. And that's one of the reasons why I like this episode so much, is just because it really does speak to how technology is moving, or what technology is moving towards. Because I'm sure you've seen, basically that AI is becoming so realistic, it's becoming hard to tell what's real and what's not.
yeah,
You know? So, if you haven't seen season 6 yet at all, definitely just start with episode 1, logically, right?
it starts off with a bang. So
Exactly. It starts off awesome. So please go ahead and give it a chance. I think you'll really like it. It's a primo episode, all right. And then the others episode, which was just called Demon, right?
I don't think I've seen this one.
This one was just kind of funny, honestly. Like, it made me laugh a lot. So the premise of this is like, it's kind of like back in the 1920s or something like that, like the time frame, and it's in England. And the main character is this Indian woman who works at a shoe store. She's got a very mundane life. Nothing exciting happens to her. She kind of doesn't feel like she's in control of her own life. She's just going through the motions, goes to work, eats her food and at her job, and goes home and whatever, and just sleeps, right? And does it all again the next day. So
Like life, man. That's all it is.
kinda, but the thing is, there's some racist undertones in the times where she lives, that the locals in the area don't really like foreigners, even though she's clearly like English, like she was probably born in England and things like that, but they look at her as a foreigner just because she's Indian, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, she's down one day in the basement eating her food of this, in this department store, and she finds this little talisman, which literally looks like a little stone, right? And she happens to, when she goes to open the drawer where the talisman's in, she cuts her thumb, right? So it's bleeding a little bit, and then she picks up the stone, not realizing what it is. When she picks it up, because her thumb is bleeding, she accidentally makes a blood pact with a demon.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, who was attached to this stone, right? And she just puts the stone in her pocket, doesn't even think about it, goes back, ends up going home, and then she starts hearing voices, right? So she pulls the stone out of her pocket, and the stone is just like talking to her like a normal person. It's like, hey, how you doing? My name is, I'm the demon.
That's nice.
I'm the demon
At
of the
least he
stone.
cares.
Yeah, he's like, and he's basically just like telling her, he's like, hey, look, I'm just letting you know that you made a blood pact with me. You probably didn't do it on purpose, but you did it anyway. And I don't make the rules, but now you have to have 3 human sacrifices, otherwise the world's gonna end in 3 days, like apocalypse.
Yeah, no shit.
So he's like, I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. So she freaks out or whatever, and he's like, look, you can tell me no, but if you tell me no, the world's just gonna end. Like, so you might as well just invite me in, let me help you so we can get this done, right?
Yeah.
So eventually she stops, she thinks about it, her world her life sucks. She's like, all right, let me try something exciting. She just says yes, right? The demon comes in, right? And it's this fucking awesome looking like goat demon, right? Looks very much like you would. It kind of looks like what you would envision Satan to kind of look like, I think. But the thing is, it's scaring the fuck out of her, right? So he transforms himself into like this backup dancer who she was watching on TV like a couple minutes ago, and so he turns into this backup dancer who's in like this white, like it's like a white dancer's costume with like tight white pants and like
K-pop dancer.
Yeah, no, well he's a black dude and he's got like this big old afro and stuff like that. And it's awesome. And then like he's just talking to her and he's like trying to calm her down and he's like, all right, hey, let's let's get these sacrifices going. We got to do this. So basically that's what happens is he ends up killing some people with her in order to avoid the apocalypse.
That's nice of him.
It was, and he's actually like a really nice, funny kind of guy. Like he's not like mean or pushy or anything. He's just like, hey, like time's ticking. Like we gotta keep moving here.
So nice. I thought I had to do it.
Yeah. So like I don't know. That kind of drew me into the episode. Just like how it's such a different vibe you got from this demon than you normally would in like a demon human like sacrifice kind of relationship. So it was pretty cool. And then basically she finds out that if the demon he's trying to get initiated into like some demon club, right?
That's what I'm telling you.
So and basically if the woman doesn't do finish her sacrifices, he doesn't get into the club, and
he don't get initiated.
He doesn't get initiated, but not only that, he gets tossed into the infinite void forever. And he's just by himself, floating in darkness for eternity. And so he's like,
Does
listen,
she know about this?
If he tells her, yeah. And then she's like, well, she kind of uses that to her advantage eventually, because she's like, I want to kill this politician. And he's like, no, you can't kill that politician, because there's a lot of people in hell who really like that politician. like
That's funny.
Which is kind of funny, right? Yeah. So he's like, no, you can't kill that guy.
Him.
Yeah, but she's like, I don't give a fuck, because he's like, he shows her the future, and that politician is the reason why there's like concentration camps, and they're like, murdering all these people and things like that, because like he's super racist. So it's kind of like a Hitler Nazi kind of deal, like the future if he becomes prime minister, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why all the people in hell love him so much, because he's the reason for a lot of the fucking suffering on Earth, right? So they're like, no, you can't.
Gainfully employed down there.
Yeah, he's like, you can't kill him. He's really good. And yeah, so she's like, I don't give a fuck. She's like, you're gonna go to the void if you don't let me kill this guy. So he's like, God damn it! Like, I don't have a choice. Like, what are my other options?
Damn.
So she goes to try to attempt to kill this politician. Ends up being stopped by the cops. And it turns out that the cops take her back to the station, and they're like interviewing her or whatever. And they're like, okay, so can you explain to us like what you were just trying to kill this guy for? And she's like, the demon told me to do it. And they're like, and you said the demon looked like, she's like, the dancer from the TV show. And they're like, okay, like you're obviously fucking nuts, right? And she's like, I'm telling you, like, the world's gonna end because I didn't get my last sacrifice, and the clock, you see the clock, and it's like in 5 minutes, right? Yeah. So the cops don't believe anything she's saying, really. They just think she's crazy. So they walk out of the interrogation room, and then the demon happens to be sitting there where they were, and he's talking to the lady, and he's like, well, I'm just letting you know, like, I didn't make it into the group or whatever. Like, I didn't get initiated. Yeah, he's like, I didn't get him initiated. He's like, it's okay. So they voted me to the void, so I'm just gonna be floating around out there forever.
Damn, that sucks.
He's like, I just want to let you know, and he's like, no hard feelings or anything like that. We tried.
He is a nice guy.
Yeah, he was like a really cool demon. But then he's like, hey, how about you come with me? He's like, we had some fun together, you can come with me. There's nothing that says I can't go to the void with you, And then she's like, well, the world's about to end in fucking couple minutes anyway. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So they end up going to
awesome.
Yeah, and then like as the show ends, like the fucking nuclear bombs are like going off in the background, and she's just walking with like holding hands with the demon to the void. That's how it ended. I had
to watch this show tonight.
Yeah, it was actually a really cool episode.
Yeah, you got me sold.
Yeah, it was it's a very fun episode, like, honestly. Like, it was a lot more entertaining and, like, kind of upbeat than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
It sucked me in. So, I just want to know, like, how people out there, out in the, what do we want to call you? The trash-verse. What are the people in the trash-verse?
In the trash can.
In the trash. What do people in the dump think?
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the episode?
The dumpster divers think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the demon. In that, episode 5, and I really liked just the whole concept of the episode 1 with Joan is Afraid. Yeah. Oh, Joan is Awful. That's what it's called. Not Joan is Afraid. Joan is Awful. That's what it was called. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think out there. If you guys think I chose 2 good episodes, please let me know. If you guys think I chose 2 wrong episodes, I would also
missing one, because you haven't seen all the seasons, have you?
I have not seen all the seasons, so if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I'm looking for things to watch, and if you guys have, some good insight. This is the first season
that you saw of Black Mirror?
No, I've seen season 1, and I saw some of season 2, but we're on season 6 now. So there's a lot I haven't seen. They came out
like on odd days, it seems like.
I don't know. It was just.
I don't even know when the release dates are. They just pop up.
Well, people have been talking about these, especially episode 1 of season 6.
Yeah.
Like, I've been hearing people saying, like, this is the episode. If you're going to get back into it, watch this episode.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, let's watch it. And it kind of sucked me back in, and then I saw, all the episodes up until 5 with Demon. So yeah, just let me know. I would love to hear you guys' opinions and recommendations in the comments down below. All right, Mike. So we said we were going to talk about some torture devices that kind of interested us. So I actually found the whole reason this thing even came up is just because I was looking online and something came up on one of the websites I was on. And it was,
you got fucking rats in your house?
What the hell are you talking about?
You can torture them? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to torture these rats?
I was just telling you how I found this concept. It was literally just something just popped up on the internet.
That's how you found it.
No, I wasn't looking at. Yeah, I'm not going to torture a fucking mouse. But anyway, I just wanted to go through a couple of torture devices and hear your thoughts on them because some of these are goddamn crazy. All right, so the first one is called the tongue terror.
Tongue terror.
Tongue terror. Terror, like tearing something.
Oh, like you rip something.
Like you're ripping something, yeah. So basically what they did is they would force the mouth to be open. Then the tongue terror would be clamped onto the tongue. And then there's a screw in the back that's tightened to make sure that it's tight on the tongue, right? And then the person just fucking yanks the shit out of it while it's like clamped down super tight on your fucking tongue. Right?
Fuck, that hurts just thinking about it.
This thing looks like it'll legitimately cut off your tongue before it even gets to the point of tearing. It looks like it'll just cut it off.
Fuck, I hate even when I bite my tongue, that shit hurts.
Yeah, this is probably a little worse. Then there's the choke pear. This one actually looks like a pear. Okay, so what does this do?
Device?
So basically it says Path of Anger is the pear of the Pope. Or they call this the pear of the Pope also. That's kind of crazy.
Pear of the Pope.
Yeah. And this was used to humiliate and torture victims who lied or committed blasphemy or homosexuality. So these guys didn't like homosexual people more than even like Florida. Yeah. So they really do not like the gays.
So what they do with this pear?
So hold on, let's see. The people who lied would mouth would be forced open, the pear would go inside, and in this case the jaw. Oh shit. So basically they put it in your mouth and then they screw it from the back, kind of similar to the other one, but instead of like clamping down or anything like that, it would open up. So the pear, the metal pear goes in and then it grows when they tighten it and it fucking dislocates your jaw and like breaks your jaw open.
Fuck.
Yeah. So that shit sucks.
And they had this shit back in the day.
But the thing is, it didn't kill the person. It's just meant to hurt the fuck out of them.
Yeah, fucking torture.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then the one that we're all super familiar with, crucifixion. They literally just tie you to a cross, put some nails in your palms and feet. And,
I've heard about this before.
Yep, that one's kind of famous. I think you might have heard of that one. Yeah, so there's that. They used to do that. They have the Judas Cradle. And this one is, the Judas Cradle was created to disgrace torture victims by slowly impaling them. So the tip of the pyramid. Oh, this is the pyramid one, right? So basically all this is, dude, is they take this pyramid. It's a metal pyramid. And they hang it underneath you. And then imagine someone hanging from the ropes, right? And then this pyramid is underneath them. And then they slowly let the person go down. And that pyramid, the tip of it, will go up their ass. And then as they're sliding down, like it gets wider and wider, right? Just like a pyramid would. And eventually, most of these people actually had said that they would die from infection because of how slow they were being released down this pyramid. And it was literally just ripping them open.
And what was the reason for that?
What is the reason?
They said the pair had to deal with a blasphemy and all that shit.
What's great? It just says to disgrace and torture them. That's all. To disgrace them, I guess. I don't know.
You know, back then they used to show all this shit. Like, you know, like the whole town will come out to come watch. I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck.
That is terrible. Then they have the rack. The rack
the torture rack was Lex Luger used to do the torture rack.
This is a little worse. So basically this one was meant to like get information out of people, which I think we're all kind of familiar with how torture doesn't really work, because people will literally tell you anything to make the pain stop.
Yeah,
right?
You pull a fingernail out. You know, okay, what do you want?
I'll say anything. That's it. Yeah. So basically with this rack, they laid the person down on a table, and then there was somebody who like they tied his arms up, right, and his feet were also tied to like a heavy rock or something that's on the ground, and they would literally just crank this, like, I don't know, just crank the fucking little lever, and it would stretch the person out. So eventually their shoulders would dislocate, their hips would dislocate, their wrists, and they just keep stretching them out until they're rips apart.
Fuck.
But it was not necessarily used to kill people. It was primarily used to just torture them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, just getting them dislocated ain't gonna kill you, but real painful.
Yeah, but then
especially all at one time.
Back then, though, too, they didn't exactly have like physical therapy afterwards.
Yeah, they didn't have medical doctors.
So this was like these people were disfigured for life after this.
Yeah.
They had an Iron Maiden. That was a thing, but I think this one was kind of a rumor, from what I remember reading about it. But basically, an Iron Maiden is like the typical big like sarcophagus you would see with like spikes inside of it. You know what I'm talking about? And then they put you in it and then shut the door and like you'd be impaled with all these spikes.
That's not real torture. That's almost death.
That's pretty much death. But the thing is, like, I remember reading about this one that this was primarily used as more of an intimidation tactic than anything. Because it was like, you want to get fucking thrown in there?
Yeah,
then tell me what the fuck.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. And
what do you want to know?
What do you want to know? Yeah, exactly. So like,
not doing it again.
Yeah, so that was more for that. I don't think that one was actually real. They had the Spanish horse, also what I'm known as.
Yeah, I went to the donkey show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So the Spanish horse is known for humiliating, crippling, and slicing open the victims. They would mount on top of it. Then weights would be added to the legs over time. So basically, this thing, dude, is literally just like, imagine a triangle, like piece of wood, and then it has legs on it, right? So then you would be sitting on it like you would sit on a horse above it.
Yeah, like a little wooden horse.
Yeah, it's like a little wooden horse. But then because the legs are so tall, they would tie weights to your legs and would literally just pull you down. Yeah. So it would eventually, because the top of it was kind of sharp, it would either cut you, you know, and you die that way. Or if it was dull, it would just dislocate your legs and feet and shit like that. So you would probably hope for a dull one, but
I would think.
Yeah, it does not sound like fun to be part of that. That's the Spanish horse. You know what a brazen bull is? That's the next one.
It's a drink.
I think it is a drink, honestly. But brazen bull I've actually heard about before. It's they have a metal or like a bronze, copper, whatever bull, and they toss you inside of it, right? And it's just a frame of a bull, and they toss you inside, and then underneath it they put a fire, and they literally just cook you in this bull. That's literally
it.
Shit,
yeah.
Yeah. And they just toss you inside, lock it up, and then you just cook on the inside.
That should almost be called the Dutch oven, but the Dutch oven's torture too.
I guess so, yeah. There's a good old Dutch oven now and then. That's not so bad. This one is amply named the Head Crusher. it's
you put a vice on your head and you fucking just tighten that bitch?
Dude, that's literally exactly what it looks like.
Oh, I know that shit has to, especially if you put it on the temples.
So, well, this thing goes on the top. So, like, I guess your face would be in it, and then there's like a dome on the top, and then there's like a lever here that slowly pushes this metal cap, and it just crushes your head like squish. So that's what that one is. That one,
the crazy thing is people who thought of this shit.
Well, this one says it's fast and painless. So I don't know how fast this would be if someone's crushing your fucking
Somebody's
head.
Gonna be an asshole and just one crank every fucking
like an hour or something. Like even like they said it could be used very slowly too.
Yeah,
so
I'll be back after lunch.
That one kind of sucks. And then the last one was just called The Saw. Yeah. Let's see what this one is. Starts from the head, slowly sawing through your head, but the torturer noticed the victims died too fast, so they decided to hang the victim upside down and start sawing from the anus down, making sure he's alive for most of the sawing. Okay. So basically all this one is... Yeah, they just kind of hang the dude, and... It says at first they would saw from the head, but they would kill him as soon as it got through the skull, right? Like their brain, they would be dead.
Well, no, we're not trying to do that.
They weren't trying to do that, yeah. So they turned him upside down, so they were hanging him from his legs, and then they would start sawing from the middle down.
Yeah,
and go that way. Yeah, so that's delicious.
Yeah, fuck.
And that's
Jesus.
it. So those were 10 pretty awesome torture devices.
Awesome, man. Fuck
that medieval people would do or not do. Who knows? It could just be kind of made up stuff. But it was fun to talk about. Kind of just urban legend kind of shit. If you guys have any recommendations for other kind of cool, or if you survived, like if you guys ever survived,
out there ever had one of those done.
Yeah, go ahead and let us know in the comments down below. All right, Mike. So we actually did get a write-in this week.
That's what I'm talking about.
Somebody emailed us on the actual website.
Let me get serious now.
So that
for
was
this
pretty cool.
Subscriber, this follower.
Oh, spit on him. Yeah. Spit on him, Daddy.
Like that, Daddy.
All right, you good? You can see? You turned your brain on?
I think I really need to get glasses, though, man. I'd be looking at my phone, and sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's usually a sign.
Next thing you know, I fucking got all this porn charges of fucking rent.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. And hear what you think. All right.
Right.
So this one says, I have been listening to the show for a few weeks now, and I want your opinion on something. I'm not a military person, and my family doesn't have any history with the military at all. My son is wanting to join, but he's only 16 years old. He's always been decent at school, never in any major trouble, and no record with law enforcement. He wants to join the Navy, and I heard you guys were both in. Can y'all give me some pros and cons from two enlisted folks? I'm not trying to change his mind. I just want him to know there are two sides to everything, and right now he thinks the Navy's all sunshine and rainbows. I appreciate y'all's insight and look forward to your thoughts. Thanks a lot. So, what are some pros and cons for this kid? There are no cons.
It's all pros. The cons are the people that are in.
I mean, that's a con.
Yeah.
So,
but I enjoyed my time in though. So I mean.
Yeah. I mean, just because you enjoyed it doesn't mean you enjoyed all of it. There's definitely going to be cons.
Deployment, duty.
The duty fucking sucks. Deployments are okay.
The worst thing about it is like duty. Nobody tells you about duty until you get to your first duty station.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Duty is like there was no duty, man. Navy would be because like I don't even know if other branches do duty.
I would assume they do, but it's different.
I think it's more of their job though. Like I go to the Air Force Base.
Okay, we should probably explain what duty is, because I don't even know if this kid knows what the fuck duty is.
No, nobody knows what duty is. We're not supposed to tell them. That's the way the Navy goes. You don't tell people about duty until they stand duty.
Like Fight Club.
My first duty day, I left the ship. I didn't even know I had duty. And I come back, they're like, where the fuck you been?
Like, what are you talking about?
I went to the exchange. They're like, you know you got duty. I was like, what the hell is duty?
Like, what are you talking about?
And you know, my section leader, my duty section leader, was my fucking chief.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and explain what the fuck this duty is, because we keep going on talking about it. All right, so what duty is a set time that you are mandatorily forced to be on the ship, right? It's usually like once every 3 days or once every 4 days, 6
days,
this is 8 days.
In port.
Yeah, it's in port while you're home, right? Like, so say you were stationed in San Diego, you're every 6 days. Well, it's also
foreign ports too. It's just whenever the ship's in port.
Yeah, it's basically any time the ship is not moving at sea, right?
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna have duty days. So it can be like I was saying, it can be every 3 days, it can be every 4 days, 6 days, whatever the ship decides.
Port and starboard sometimes.
That's what it is. Sometimes literally port and starboard, which is every 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And that just means that you're going to be staying on the ship and you're going to be standing something called watches, which you'll eventually get qualified and learn how to do. So those watches can be, a quarterdeck watch, which basically just means when people come onto the ship, you will check them in or find out who they're there to see and, kind of coordinate that kind of stuff. Or it can be an armed watch, which means you can be like a topside rover, which is just someone who literally stands on the outside of the ship and walks around the ship, with a fucking couple guns strapped to them in case anything goes down. They're basically like security, right? They're the first line of security. Then there's other watches and things like that. Regardless,
depends on what he's going in. Like if he goes engineering route, he'll be doing engineering. Right.
It depends on your job and things like that. But the basic premise is every time you're in port, you're going to be standing some type of duty where you cannot go home. Right, yes, so that is the
24 hours.
Yep,
more than 24 hours. You got to work the next day. No, it's just the weekend.
Exactly. So, like, if you have duty on a Monday, right? You came in on Monday morning.
No, let's say you have Sunday.
Okay, sure. Let's switch it to Sunday. So, if you come in Sunday, right? That means like most people are, enjoy their weekends because nobody works on Sundays, right? But you have duty, so you're on the ship at 7 a.m. on Sunday, and then you get off on 7 a.m. on Monday. But then your job starts on Monday, so you're just going to work.
You still got to do a full work day.
Right. So doesn't even matter. You're still at work until you go. Work is over, and then you get to go home. So that's duty, right? So that's probably one of the worst things about the military.
But you do need duty sections. I understand that, but that's probably one of the worst things.
Yeah, it's a necessary evil kind of thing. Yeah. Like it really does suck, but it makes sense. Basically, on a duty section is the minimum amount of people necessary to get a ship underway, kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's what you would be doing for duty. Most people don't talk about it because it's kind of like one of those I don't know. It's kind of like you were saying, Mike. recruiters and shit
also
aren't going to try to tell you about that.
You just try to throw it out of your head, like you don't want to even think about the shit.
Yeah, because you're just like, fuck, I got duty.
Yeah, it was for the 20 years, man. That shit was, I hated duty.
Yeah, they'll think about it. 20 years, sometimes every 2 days, sometimes 6 days.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, 8. Like those are like the big boys. Sometimes they get 8. But yeah, so like duty's a rough thing. So some pros of the Navy would be like, for me at least, is definitely, I was about to say the people. Like the relationships you make in the Navy is definitely some of the relationships like you'll have for the rest of your life. Yeah. So, and like a lot of people, like you can go years without fucking mentioning, like saying a word to them, and then you hit them up or they'll hit you up, and it's like you never stop talking.
Yeah, you never missed a beat.
Yeah. So like that's one of the things I really, really appreciate the Navy for. Also,
traveling's good.
Travel's good.
But I don't know the thing about traveling now. I don't know how it is during COVID or after COVID. I just know during COVID, it was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same anymore. So here's the thing: Mike and I both got out, before COVID.
Yeah, I retired 2018.
Yeah, and I was out in 19. So COVID in 2020 is 2023. Things are way different now than when either of us were in. So I can't really speak on how things are right now.
But to be honest, though, you think about it now, like that carrier that was in Virginia.
Yeah.
With all the suicides they had over the past, and they were dry docked.
Oh, they had 4 or 5 suicides in like a month or something like that. It was fucking crazy.
So I mean, it's almost a culture shock, I guess, nowadays, because the way they were living on that carrier. I mean, there's nothing you could do for junior sailors. They were having them live on board.
Yeah, that's too
And
crazy.
the junior sailors will complain about it. I don't mean to talk bad about the Navy, but nobody was doing nothing about it.
Yeah. Well, you're not talking bad. You're talking realistic. Like, you're just being real with this kid.
Yeah.
So, you're trying to be honest. Like, let him know what's coming down the line.
Yeah, because trust me, there's going to be some stressful, hard times.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some great times.
Yeah.
For me, I got lucky. I had more good times than bad times in the Navy.
Yeah. I think you got lucky. That's also your personality, too, though.
Yeah, the people helped me get through and shit like that, and my job. I mean, I was a supply guy. If I told you earlier, I said if I ever had to choose another rate in the Navy, it'll be another supply rate. I would have been an LS instead of SH.
Yeah. So
supply to me, supply was. I don't mean to brag or nothing, but I just thought it was the best job in the Navy. It's not beneficial probably outside, but I mean.
But while you're in, it is a fucking sweet gig. Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to stay in for 20 years, that is a sweet ass gig.
Yeah,
so
it is. Yeah.
That is not bad. I was combat systems. So my job was a little more like technical savvy, kind of like I needed to be more tech savvy. And I also had a lot of like schools and shit I had to go to. So for me, if you wanted with the combat system side of things, if you're looking for a job outside of the Navy, combat systems is a really good way to go. At least from my perspective, because that's all I can speak on.
Yeah, that or hell, you'll be an IT. I don't even know what the ITs fall on.
ITs also. ITs will make they make so much money on it. As long as they keep their qualifications up and their certifications, they can make a ton of money. So I don't know what you're looking into, what job you're kind of you want to do in the Navy. Like who knows? You might actually just want to be a BM, right? Bosun's mate. Good luck. That's like the oldest rate in the Navy, right? That could be your thing. But like I was saying, the things for me that made the Navy worth it are mostly the relationships and the skills that the Navy taught me through the schools. Like that's basically what I took from the Navy. So
hell, I like the port visits that we had.
Yeah, I mean the port visits were fucking.
And that's
amazing.
That's one thing about the Navy that other branches can't do. The way that we travel, other branches can't do that.
Yeah. How many countries had you been to? Do you know?
I've been all over. So I've been all over South America, been all over Asia, Australia. I just hasn't been to the East Coast.
Okay.
So I've been on both sides of South America, been all over Asia.
Yeah.
Been to Russia, Australia.
I never been to Russia.
I was at the tip of fucking South America, man.
Australia kept getting canceled for us every time we were gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time it was literally like there was like 3 different times that we were supposed to pull into somewhere in Australia, and every time it got canceled.
I think I've been in 3 different places. I've been to Perth, Brisbane, and Sydney.
Yeah, those are the 3 big ones.
Yeah.
Yep. And those were the 3 that we were supposed to go to and made none of them.
Snorkeling in the fucking Great Barrier Reef, man. You know, I get to say I did that shit.
Exactly, like shit like that is
and
what
I got paid
makes it
to
cool.
do it.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that is what makes the Navy awesome, you know, and different from other branches.
Yes.
So I think if you were dead set on a branch, the Navy is the way to go. Like,
nah, I mean, I'd go Air Force, but
but if he wants to travel and see the world and shit like that,
yeah, if you want to travel, see the world, yeah, Air Force.
It.
And also, if you don't have a family, I think Navy would be the way to go.
Yeah, it's hard on people with kids and shit. When you go on
deployment, you don't have to worry about nothing back at the home front.
Yeah, you could just literally get up and go, kind of thing. Just put your lease, cut your lease or whatever, and be good to go.
Live on the ship. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So there are some pros. The cons is definitely duty. That's fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
It's also can be very, very stressful, depending on what your job is.
Also, how much sea time you're going to before you hit a port.
Yeah, and that's another thing. If you're out at sea, sometimes you'll be out at sea for 45 plus days.
You get one beer.
Before you get one beer every 45 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's something that bugs you, it's also really hard on like just relationships in general. So if like you're worried about like a girlfriend or like a wife, some shit like that, like it can be pretty stressful. So make sure that before you join something, like before you join the Navy or any branch, that you kind of let whoever you're with, like they understand what it is you're doing. So like that makes it a lot easier.
Also, with like when I first came in, we were still fucking writing letters and sending them. You know, we didn't have the internet to send.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we fucking that letter shit, man. God, I'm still waiting on a fucking care package that my wife sent me with a blue shirt in, and I'm still waiting on that shit since '98. I still ain't got it.
That shit is floating around in some ocean.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to South America and see some guy wearing my motherfucking blue shirt.
It's like, give me that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean you can do some. You can look up some stuff online and get other people's opinions.
Especially if you know what job field you're gonna do, look up
that's
what that entails. Engineering life is hard.
Yep, that is hard.
Pretty much, like I said, everybody who still watches, like supply, we didn't stand watch. I'm gonna brag about that.
Yeah, you guys were good.
Yeah, but people had to stand watches and still do their workload.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that shit was crazy.
Well, it is what it is. So it's definitely not all rainbows. Like the gentleman was saying, his son was under the impression it was. It's all rainbows and sunshine. It's definitely not. But there are some awesome times. Like some of my favorite memories ever were just being out in the middle of the ocean, like the sunset's going down or whatever. We pull out some chairs, pull out some cigars, and just fucking chilling out there, watching the sun go down, smoking cigars with your friends. And the term misery loves company really does apply. Because you're all fucking miserable. You've all been at sea for like 30 plus days at this point, and you're just
you can see some people, they go tired. Some of us get mad over the littlest thing.
But it's true, like misery really loves company in that sense.
But you know what, like
it's cool.
If you have a good MWR, they try to do little things to make the deployment a little bit better.
So MWR is morale, welfare, and recreation. Like Mike was saying, it's a little program that tries to keep you entertained and kind of keep your morale up and things like that. Do they always do the best job? No. Do they try? Yes. And it also depends on the type of person you are, like how receptive you are to that type of stuff. Some people are just like, this is the dumbest shit ever. I don't want to play fucking cards on the mess decks.
Yeah,
but other people are like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll play cards on the mess decks. Like, just little stupid shit like that.
And then like fucking our ship, we had jersey days where you get to wear an NFL jersey.
Yeah,
we had
stupid hat day. Yeah. Exactly.
I always wanted to have throwback Thursdays. We just wear old sailor outfits.
That would have been cool.
I could have wore fucking dungarees again.
Yeah, or fucking the Cracker Jacks and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it just depends on your commands too. Like I've had great commanding officers, and I've had super shitty commanding officers, and it just also depends on the time. Like the shitty commanding officers, truth be told, they weren't even all that bad, but they were just trying to get us to pass an inspection called in-serve.
Yeah, they got that
very difficult to pass.
Ready for all the inspections they have.
So inspections are a big thing too, and like it's a lot of pressure for you to pass, because if you don't pass your part, then the entire ship can fail, and that's on you. And
that's like crazy, because like you got your deployment, but before you go on deployment, you got to pass all these inspections, so you're still getting underway.
Yeah, exactly.
All these times before deployment. So, man, my first ship, we were pretty much 6 months in, 6 months out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that the Blue Ridge?
No, my first ship was Talkin the Rover.
Okay. Yeah.
We did a bunch of CD ops, that counter drug ops down in South America.
Yeah, that sounds
great
pretty
time.
cool.
Yeah, that shit was fun.
So, there are some really cool things. There are some really shitty things. It just depends really on the type of person you are and how receptive you are to, to stress, really. If you deal with stress well, you won't really have a problem. But if you're a person who freaks out over any little thing not going your way, then you're going to have a terrible fucking time.
Schedule.
Yeah, then you're going to have a terrible time. Because one thing somebody told me in the Navy, like, early on, was you can't even be like, you know how they tell you to not be so rigid? Like, you got to be more like a liquid, like, kind of flow with things?
Yeah.
They were saying you can't even be a fucking liquid. You got to be like a gas.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to have no fucking plan. You're just there.
Just float around.
That's it. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So not even going with the flow, just fucking be a gas. Like, that's it. All right. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. Mike, you're pretty good with that,
just
or what?
do your research. Really, that's the main thing. Like,
Do your fucking
we can tell
research.
you everything about do your fucking. We can tell you everything, but I'm sure we missed a lot of things. But like, my 20 years, I'd do it again. To be honest,
Do it again. There you go.
Well, not right now at this age, not at this
age.
age.
Yeah, no, a little different. But yeah, so if if we helped you, good. I hope we helped you. And honestly, write us back and let us know if there's anything else you want to know, like specifically.
Like a question that he really wants to know an answer to, because like we can go on forever about.
Yeah, like you just gave us kind of a vague question, so we gave you kind of vague answers.
Like, hey, if my son, he's thinking about going this rate.
Yeah.
We can kind of describe it the best.
Exactly.
I can.
Like if you have specific stuff, that's the best kind of questions you can give, because we can give specific answers, right? So please go ahead and write back to us, so that way we can help you out some more. I actually really like this question. So for those of you out there who are just thinking about, oh, maybe I should write a question in, please do. It doesn't have to be anything military related. It can be about goddamn anything. We
know a lot of stuff, man. I'm very educated.
we do know.
I do have my associates in photography.
So, if there's something you think that we could answer for you, we'd happily do so. All right. So go ahead, write those questions. You can even write them as comments down below. Really appreciate y'all. All right, Mike. Let's go ahead and just go right into the what would you do? All right, which in this case is a would you rather. Okay.
Okay.
So in this one, I just like this. I thought this was kind of interesting. Would you rather have a random superpower once a day for 5 minutes a day, or get $200,000? Let's go 200,000 yearly. Let's say yearly, because 200,000
still
forever.
Want to go with the superpower?
You're still going with superpower.
Random superpower.
Random
money.
And it could be random superpowers. Can be anything. It can be dumb as fuck. It can be literally like
fucking fart all day.
Super smell man. Yeah. Like you fucking have super smell-o-vision.
It's just gonna make life more interesting than that money.
It would be super interesting, honestly. Yeah. Like I agree on that. Like,
and
it can be anything, and it can happen anytime. It could be while you're asleep.
If it's a shitty one, oh well.
But it could even happen while you're asleep, so you could just miss it. Damn. Or it could be so boring that you just miss it anyway because you don't know what the fuck it was. Yeah. And
I just got to roll the dice, man.
That's all it is.
You have to just fucking roll the dice and go with a random one.
So like one of the fucking superpowers could be like your teeth fall out, but they grow back instantly. Or something like that.
It hurts when they grow back. Baby tooth man. You lost all your baby tooth.
Or like you can fly, right? But you can only fly like a foot off the ground and at walking speed.
I better have a motherfucking timer, because if I'm up too high, oh shit, it's been 6 minutes.
No, but you can only fly for fucking 1 foot above the ground. That's the limit, right? So it's like a stupid power like that.
Next time it'll be fucking 10 feet off the ground,
So okay, yeah, I like that the random superpower thing. I would probably do that too, honestly.
It just makes life more interesting, I think.
It would, but then one day you're gonna have fucking heat vision and just start cooking people and not know how to fucking turn that shit off.
Shit, we'll have a fucking crawfish boil.
Respect. See, you're an optimist.
Exactly. You gotta think positive.
You see the good and shit.
Yeah.
I see massacres. You see crawfish boil. Respect.
Accidentally cook somebody. Oh shit! I gotta go hide. Hopefully tomorrow I have some other power where I can make people forget.
Yeah, but then who knows? You may end up with some like fucking godlike power where you could travel through time.
Exactly.
Or some shit, and then you're just fucked because you
go
can't
back
get back
and then take the money. When I
Just
fucked
switch it.
This shit wasn't as fun as I thought.
But I think the 5 minutes kind of limits. That's the big limiter, you know. I think if it was any longer than that, I would absolutely not even question whether I would take it or not. But the 5 minutes is the thing that sucks about it, because like
that and the random shit does, because like you said, that
I guess
shit
that's
could be
true.
anything.
It could. It literally be anything. Like you could just fucking be invisible for 5 minutes, or fucking
You could
just
turn
have,
into like the fucking Hulk when you're like, oh, that shit's fun, and then that shit's gone. You're like, wait a minute.
yeah.
that shit-
God damn it, that was fucking lame.
Yeah, exactly. You jumped off. You know how Hulk be jumping and shit.
Yeah.
You jump like, fuck, I gotta get back.
Or you jump and your fucking 5 minutes runs out.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it, how do I gonna get back now?
Yeah, see, shit like that would be like, God damn it. But yeah, so
Wait
like
till tomorrow.
that'd
See
be
what
kinda-
power I got. Hopefully, I can get back tomorrow.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you don't know what time it happens either tomorrow. You
Yeah.
know, like it could be the first 5 minutes, it could be the last 5 minutes of tomorrow. Like,
Just gotta sit there and wait it
anytime.
out.
While you're eating dinner, all of a sudden you have the fucking, you know, you goddamn, your hair doesn't stop growing or some shit.
Yeah. There's hair in my food.
That's it. I think with the whole superpower thing, I think that there is also a lot of negatives that can come with that. Like,
Never that.
dude, I was just thinking about it. Like, what if like you went to sleep, right, and you got like fucking ice breath while you were asleep, and the person you were sleeping with fucking is in the room with you, and they just freeze them to death, and you have no idea because you were passed out.
You blame them.
They're dead.
Yeah. You wait for the next day when you have that power, and then you leave.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I just feel like there's so many negative things that could happen. Or like you fucking, I don't know, you go to take a piss or something, and like you shoot out like Spider-Man like web sling dick, you know, or something like that.
It's fire. You just burn the whole fucking house down. You're like, oh,
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, oh my god. Or you go to take a shit and they're like actual like landmines or something,
yeah,
you know,
real
like fucking
fucking
nitroglycerin bombs.
Bomb.
So you're just fucking wrecking everything always. So I don't know. It's
You
risky.
gotta live off the grid, man.
I guess that would be
live
it.
off the grid.
Lots of danger, but very exciting. It's still a very exciting
exactly.
life.
That's what's gonna make it fun.
Exactly. It'll be very
If it gets
exciting.
too bad, just fucking end up using superpower to kill yourself.
All right, and as we're gonna end that one on that morbid ass fucking.
I'm sorry.
just off yourself. All right. All right. So real quick, before we get out of here, what is something that you're enjoying at the moment that you would like to share with the audience? Just go ahead and keep it short and sweet, about like 60 seconds long, and we'll be
Tiny
good to go.
homes.
Tiny homes? What do you mean tiny homes?
That's what I was thinking. I've been watching this show. Well, they got a bunch of different shows. I think it's either called Smaller Living or Living Small or Living Smaller. It's on A&E. But people just like, you know how they got the shipping container homes?
Yeah.
People convert their
Okay.
vans and stuff like that.
Right.
It's drawing my attention because I think like within 7 years, I think I'm going to put my house up for rent, man. I'm just going to get a
Try to
smaller
move
home.
smaller
man.
home. It's funny you
And
say
I
that
want-
because my sister was looking into something like that too. It was like it's legitimately like a little house, and it's
Yeah.
like they just use their space inside so efficiently,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool.
Cause man, I will have no more kids here, and then I want to live somewhere like on the river or something, and just put a small home out there,
Dude, that's cool. I like that a lot.
up there on the Ozarks, so I
Respect.
can make it to every float trip.
Exactly. That'd actually be really nice, honestly, having a little place out there.
Right?
That'd be beautiful.
Man, I'm telling you, man, check out that show, man. This one dude, he built a tree. They build tree houses too, and he built it like in this little fucking valley, man. I was like, how did he buy the land for this fucking valley? I was like, what the fuck? Where do
Yeah.
I find these type of lands at?
Well, the thing is, like, honestly, like the land for shit like that is not very expensive because it's all rock. Like
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
expect people to actually live there.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
motherfucker built it. He has 3 tree houses. He rents one out for $750 a night.
Damn.
This one dude has one couple. They have a ranch that has 5 tree houses in it on a ranch like in Texas.
Yeah.
This dude makes $50,000 a year, a month.
Damn, that dude's balling. That's
Yeah.
a good investment.
That's why I was like, damn, man, I'm gonna look at this life, man. I'm telling you, man, in 7 years, man, I might pull the trigger and live that lifestyle.
Respect. Yeah, mine. My thing I'm enjoying this week isn't nearly as
Fetish? Yeah, I know yours is some type of
fetishy.
fucking fetish. Yeah.
It's not, and it never has been a fetish.
Yeah.
So
Not yet.
the thing I've been watching this week that I've actually been liking a lot is dog biting videos. So it sounds terrible, right?
It does.
But basically all it really is these people who own dogs, and they pretend that the dog bit them. So the dog will be playing with them kind of rough, you know, like kind of gnawing at their hand,
shit.
like nipping at them, and then they just pretend. So like the dog will be like playing with them, and then it will like go to like, you know, kind of like nip his hand or something like that, and then the person will be like, ow, ow, you know, or something like that, and then they just see how the dog reacts. Like, and 99% of the time, the dogs will react in a way like, oh, I'm sorry, and they start licking their hand, or like they lick their
weirdest
face.
reaction you saw?
The dog legit didn't give 2 fucks and just kept biting the guy.
He just started pissing everywhere.
Shooting fire out his dick.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you.
But yeah, no, I just been
Barely
watching those videos. They're just like cute little animal videos. I've been liking those. That's been my thing this week. That
I like to
cheering
with
me
my
up.
micro bully. I like to push in his cheek. And when he'll open up his mouth, and I was like, man, just bite. He won't bite.
He won't bite.
Oh, yeah, I put my fucking whole hand in there, and he pulls back, and he just sits there, and so he'll lick aggressively. Like he'll lick and then involve his teeth in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, bro, calm down, man.
I know what you're talking about. Gil does the same thing. Like Gil will lick me on my beard, and then every so often he'll just be lick, and like a little bite.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why you bite me for?
Teeth brings the teeth. You're like, what
I'm
are
like,
you
why you
doing?
do that?
Yeah, but I always do it with my micro bully. I always sit there and just poke in. He'll give me a big old yawn.
Yeah.
But he won't, and I put my hand in there, he just won't bite down. He just backs up and then he just give me some aggressive fucking licks.
Those are good dogs. We got good dogs.
No, I want aggressive.
I don't. I'm glad my dogs aren't.
Yeah, no,
Bo is aggressive though. He's kind of an asshole to other dogs, but he's good with us. Good with people.
Yeah.
Good with Gil. Terrible with any other dog. So I just keep him away. But
that's weird, man. That's that fucking lack of protein.
that's what it is. I don't know what it is, man. He just he's a big
Got him
asshole
off
to
them
them.
steroids.
Exactly. Now he's going through withdrawals. Yeah. So that's what we've been enjoying this week. Hopefully you guys can, look this kind of stuff up, make you, feel a little better.
Yeah, tiny homes.
Tiny homes.
That's the way of the future.
Yep. And dog biting kisses. Fake dog bites, basically.
Fake dog bites.
All right. So we got anything else, Mike? We're good to go?
Yeah, I'm all out. I've been out for a while now.
Respect. Yeah, this was a longer one. All right. So thank you guys for listening to the podcast. If you guys want to contact us, feel free to head over to our website at www.talkintrashpodcast.com to leave a recommendation or to drop a line and say what's up. If a web form really isn't your thing, you can just email us directly at Ramboss or Ehle at talktrashpodcast.com, and make sure you follow us on social media at YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram by searching Talkin' Trash Podcast. You can also check us out on Spotify and Anchor if you just want to hear our sexy ass voices.
Yeah.
And if you guys have made it this far, please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those things. It really does help us small creators fight against that YouTube algorithm a little more, and you'd be doing your part to help us grow. And as always, don't forget to keep talking that trash.
It is cold. We need to grow.
Peace out.
Peace.